So this brings me to my very exciting announcement. Drum roll, please. Ding! Guys, you are officially invited to my introductory master classes pertaining to all things drug regulation and pharmaceutical regulatory affairs. Ding! Hey everyone, how are you doing? Welcome back to Farmers. In this video, I want to expand on the regulatory affairs video that I posted a little while back. And I still want to touch on industry salaries because I know you guys love that money. But I really want to also introduce you to a little bit more than last time. So consider this like a part 2 of the regulatory affairs or industry affairs video, okay? What the salaries are like in industry and how to really understand the basics, okay? This is like Industry for Dummies 101. Let's go. Okay, so you guys, I got a lot of feedback from my previous video and I'm really excited because I'm starting to feel like I could really be helpful in this regulatory affairs sector. And I'm also, getting my feet deeper and deeper into it. It's gonna now be 4 years into this sector. I'm absolutely enjoying it. And I really wanna fling open the doors and let you guys in because I know how tight the doors are to this industry. I know how there's really barely anyone giving junior pharmacists a chance, and most posts will require 2 to 3 years experience or production experience or QA experience, and you're like, but where do we get the experience? So guys, I'm gonna do my best. Bear with me. I've started doing master classes, so you're welcome to enroll. There's one next weekend. Seats are limited each time because I really want to focus in on the smaller group. I hate to have a million people there and then you can't even get through the stuff because you're just answering so many questions. So yeah, we are gonna really tackle this. I've attended so many workshops where, from the get-go, they start talking about stuff up here and you are still down here at step 0 and you're clueless, it all flies over your head. So I really want to break things down. I want to absolutely unravel, detangle, unmesh, whatever word you want to use, insert here. But I really want you guys to grasp the concepts of industry, of regulatory, so much so that it becomes like second nature. I feel like at our unis, we're all really much taught towards clinical pharmacy and, having interventions, identifying errors on prescriptions and making sure regimens are according to guidelines and things like that. But then when it comes to industry, clueless. Other than perhaps SMU that does a little intro thing, and also NMU that does an industrial round thing in fourth year, or used to anyway. I don't know about now, but it's really seldom that these university programs even cater to industry. So your internship, by the time you get to your internship, if you didn't get in by luck or by being placed, that's it. Those are the people that really get a foot in early. The others just have to scramble. And yeah, there are many reasons for that. I guess we could discuss them at a later stage. But for now, let's just get you guys to understand what regulatory affairs pertains to for a pharmacist in South Africa or even Southern Africa, because it's much similar. Okay? Okay, so let's talk about the salaries since y'all are so eager, beavers, about, how much you can get. Trust me, a regulatory affairs pharmacist has nothing to envy anyone else in the pharmacy sector. And I also believe that's one of the reasons why it's so tightly shut and tightly kept, because people always guard the cheese, right? Wherever there's money, they're going to make sure to hoard it, to give it to their people, to their kids, to their acquaintances and whatever. And the rest of you guys who don't know anybody are just going to get left out in the cold. So I'm here, as always, to help the larger group, people that don't have contacts, people that are just, enthusiastic, enjoy the sector, would really want a chance, but can't. Okay. So let's begin. Salaries. It's just thumb sucking, guys. Nobody is actually going to show you their pay slip unless you see from adverts, which is what I'm basing this whole salary scale on, from the adverts that I've seen, from the stuff that I've even applied to. On average, a regulatory affairs pharmacist gets 75,000 rands per month. That's gross, okay, on average. Now, years experience kick in. A lot of them have performance bonuses. A lot of them have, the packages really begin to get structured differently, completely different from what you would see in retail or hospital. In regulatory affairs, packages are very, very different, okay? And that's also a tip. If you're going to negotiate your salary with your future employer, please request for your package to be assessed or reassessed. There's a lot of ways that you could bring down your tax, even with these kinds of little tricks and tips. For example, rather than paying you $50K flat salary, they could perhaps pay you less flat salary, but add, some sort of an allowance, which bumps it right up to the 50. But tax-wise, your bracket will be lesser. So they could add things like car allowance, medical aid or insurance, or cell phone allowance, like a lot of different things. So speak to HR, speak to your employer, speak to your boss, and get your salary packages reviewed. You're welcome. I love you guys. I'm always gonna put you on, you best believe it, and that's on period, okay? I was just grateful that I kind of fell into this sector. I never really thought, oh, I'm gonna be a regulatory affairs pharmacist. But the more I went through my journey, the more I feel like God led me to it. My master's, I was not even intentionally wanting to do what I did, but because, it happened, then that's how SAPRA initially hired me. And then from then on, I was in, and then it was regulatory all the way. But why am I rambling? Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so because I was fortunate to stumble into or be led by God into this, I really want to give back, help you guys out, give you some tips, prepare all these master classes, really help you understand the industry, what it's about. A lot of you are just curious, but actually wouldn't even like it or enjoy it. A lot of you would and don't know. So it's really just to get a taste and feel for what it is, okay? So like I said, a regulatory affairs pharmacist could get around 75K. And that depends on the experience, on the role. And this is very important because every single company is different. It's not like retail where you're like, okay, I'm pretty much going to do the same right across, like from an independent to a corporate to a whatever. It's all pretty much the same, right? You get scripts, you file, you dispense, you assess, you counsel, you compound, you train, it's pretty much the same. But for regulatory, nah, it's going to be so dependent on the type of industry you're in, or sorry, the type of subsector. Because if it's a manufacturing, RA for manufacturing is so different than RA for import exports, so different than RA for regulating as a regulator for like evaluations and assessments, so different than somebody who just compiles. So, and again, depending on the size, because as you know, RPs in smaller companies do everything. So the RP in a smaller company, like where I was prior, I did everything. I was the QA, I was the compliance, I was the pharmacovigilance officer, I was the production pharmacist, I was the batch release, I was the everything. So it really gave me a good understanding of how these roles all fit together. But in bigger companies, these roles are each going to be assigned to somebody else. So you'll find that the QA/compliance is really the person in charge of enforcing the QMS. They are in charge of making sure that this machine is well oiled and functioning according to plan. And the plan being the SOPs, the QMS, the quality manual, etc., etc. Okay. Compliance salaries go up to 83,000 rands per month. I've seen production pharmacist salaries that have gone up to 100Ks. I've seen RA salaries that have gone up to 100Ks. So you can't really say this role is superior to that role. Obviously, organogrammatically, the RP is always the top-notch person because they are the ones in charge of overseeing every other department and making sure that if the regulator, SAPRA, comes to inquire about anything, the last person who's liable is the RP, the first and the last. So they usually bear the biggest responsibility and the biggest weight of the whole industry. So by that, in that sense, they should be getting the most amount of money. But trust me, an RP in a small manufacturing getting 80Ks a month is not gonna come close to a production pharmacist or a QA pharmacist who's head of their team or head of their department in a massive multinational who gets 100+K. So it really all depends on the size of the company. So you guys, I also wanted to add this one point in this video about salaries is that it's never clear cut about the full gross salary or the amount that they make because some are rated per hour, okay? A lot of regulatory affairs people are consultants and they make a lot more than what a full-time person would. Understandably, because now it's on their time, it's their expertise, you're booking them per hour, and a lot of them charge 1,000, some 800, some 1.2, so on average it's 1,000, and you can imagine how many hours it is to just put together one dossier, okay? Weeks even, depends on the state of the rawness of the application. If they don't have anything, you're starting from scratch, you're gonna need a lot of hours. But if they already have certain templates that are up to date, emphasis on up to date, if they already have communications with the manufacturers, with, if they have all their GMP certificates and things like that, it could be quicker. So guys, they'll charge you like 50Ks to do a variation or to do little amendments. So you can imagine that could be done within a week and they're cashing in 50Ks weekly. So times 4, you guys, and that's every month, all right? So don't play with regulatory affairs. It truly has great potential if you know how to work it. So this all brings me to the introduction of my master classes. I'm officially launching and introducing to you guys all from here on out master classes for regulatory affairs in South Africa. And this is pertaining to drug, because every department, every industry has their regulatory affairs. Just to close, you guys, I'm going to give you this one last tip to say, if you really want to get into regulatory, you need to join associations that specifically address regulatory issues. First of all, to receive regular communications, also to network. You know, that's where you find people who are within the industry for longer than you are and who have vacancies or who know about vacancies. And yeah, there's SAPRA, there's SAPI, like there's a few, guys. Look them up, or else join my career guidance coaching. That's where you get one-on-one specific information for your quest, and then start going through them and applying. The best, most easiest way is for your internship. So if you're still an undergrad or if you're still completing your schooling now, please make sure to apply intentionally with a crisp CV resume to a regulatory post or internship or company. You can add a cover letter, motivational letter. You can, guys, there's ways around this, okay? You need to show your intention and come with the correct energy to get what you ultimately want, okay? It's what you desire and you have to go get it. So I'm here to help you guys. Don't hesitate. We have career guidance coaching. There's a lot of workshops coming up. There's one-on-one consultations or sessions, and just good old questions. Just DM or inbox or email. I'm really like not tight-lipped about any of this. I will share. So yeah, you guys, make extra sure, okay? So yeah, I'll see you guys in the workshops. Follow the link below. I'll see you guys on the website with your bookings. So I'm really here to encourage all those for whom this is your calling, your passion, your interest. Dive right into the deep end, you guys, and never look back. Let's dominate the regulatory affairs industry with confidence and with knowledge. Bye for now.